If it's okay, I'm going to start in about a minute. I'll leave it till 2 o'clock just in case some more people come. Oh, yeah, another person come along. Lee Ann Rim will come. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Can I ask you, Leanne, what course you're doing? Foundation Schools Family. All right, that's good. Right, I think it's, well, I know it's 2 o'clock, so I'm going to start. My name's Paul Martin. As the people from the beginning of the talk will have probably heard, I'm the careers advisor. I tend to work with the creative sector, but we'll obviously see lots of other students. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do this in about 10 minutes. So I don't want to make it too long. It's very much an introductory section. And then, as I say, at the end, if you want to ask any questions, I'm free to answer them, and I'll answer them at the end. Okay, so we'll start. So what we're going to do, 2 secs, get technology to work. So the aim of the session is basically to give you an understanding of what to include in a cover letter. Because what we want is an employer to read your cover letter. And I'm basically going to show you how to create the layout a CV, or a cover letter I should say, that is easy to read. Okay. Oopsie daisy, gone too far. Right. So, one of the things with cover letters, and I think this is important, when you see a job that's advertised, so there's 2 types of cover letters. So a lot of jobs you'll see advertised. So say, for instance, I'll use an example from the TV industry, a production company, you see a job advert, it's advertising, and it will usually say require CV and cover letter. I think most people know about CVs, but cover letters, a lot of people don't know about them. So that's why we're doing this section. The cover letter is the first thing that an employer will read. So it's really important to create a very good impression, because that's the first piece of material they're going to see from you. So it's important to get this right. And one of the problems with a lot of students is they don't take it very seriously. The CV they take seriously, but not the covering letter. And the problem there is, if they read a poor covering letter, they're not going to read your CV. So give an example, one I saw this year, and it's something like, my name is John. I'm just finishing my criminology course this summer. I'm making this up, and I'm looking for a job in social media. Attached is my CV. Now that might sound exaggerated, but some cover letters are basically 3 or 4 lines. The other problem, which is the other extreme, some students do cover letters like, I don't know, War and Peace. It's 2 pages long, and nobody's going to read it. So maximum 1 page, no more than 1 page. That's what it's got to be. Okay, we'll talk about the speculative inquiries because they're quite interesting, right? So most people will see the jobs in most organisations that are on websites, etc., but some organisations don't advertise them. So you would then have to put a speculative application out. So they're not advertising, and often these companies don't advertise them because they're waiting for speculative inquiries. So a lot of students I will see, particularly in the creative sectors, might be textiles, something like that, saying, I'm not sure where to look. So really, one of the first things is doing your research, finding out the organisation. If you're struggling with that, not sure where to look, come and see us in careers. Okay, that's important. That's one of the things we're really quite good at. The other thing that's important in your cover letter is finding out who's the right person. So usually it's a head of department or a service, something like that. I'll talk more about that in a minute, because otherwise you're cover letter a big organisation. So I'll use Kellogg's Cornflakes or Kellogg's as an example. It's a big organisation. They have lots of different sectors. If you've not got a name, it might not arrive at the right person's desk. Okay. Now this is where LinkedIn is quite useful. So somebody I was speaking to yesterday is a 3rd-year student. He's applied for BT. I've seen his cover letter, which is absolutely amazing, fantastic cover letter. And on it, he has the name of this person from BT. And I said to him, how did you get that? He said, I went on LinkedIn and searched it out and got it. I thought, well done. The other thing you need to put as well, which is really important, is you need to put what you're applying for. So it might be, you might be a second year student or third year student for an internship or work experience or work shadowing. Work shadowing is where you go and sit with somebody and see what they do. And then obviously quite a lot of students who are going to be final students are looking for a job. Okay, so that's what. So cover letter needs to address 3 issues. So 3 issues it needs to address is why you want to work for this particular organisation. So I'll use an example from probably about 5 years ago when I remember quite well. And this particular person, the only person I've ever seen apply for this, was applying for a job with the Royal Society of Birds. His interest was nature, wildlife. He worked at a place called Martin near Skelmersdale. He knew an awful lot about birds. He was into photography, things like that. He was obviously passionate and he knew all about the organisation. He could tell you everything about it. Okay, the next bit is why you're particularly interested in the job. Now, if you have had some work experience or work shadowing, you've got an understanding of the job, or perhaps your course, so you do a marketing course, something like that, includes a lot on that, that's going to give them evidence that you know about this and you've got some evidence you've done something extra. Okay, so you've got to come across, I haven't just picked this job out of the yellow pages. I've done some work and research on it. What makes you a strong candidate, what makes you stand out from the rest, again, will be obviously taking, I suppose, every opportunity that's come your way to get as much experience, as many contacts as possible. So the more things you've got to offer them, so you've done different work experiences, volunteering, things like that, that's going to make you stand out. Okay, now let's get to the letter. So you want to keep it simple, so using this as a format that you could use. So your name at the top, your address, your email account, and if you've got a website, Can I point out, if you've got a website, keep it up to date, because the first thing they're going to look at is your website, and it's not up to date, you're shooting yourself in the foot. They want your mobile number, because quite often they'll ring you straight away. On the left-hand side, you need to put the name of the company, their address, the postcode, and then the next bit, if you have a name, so Dear John Smith or Dear Billy Brown or whatever it is, Mr. Brown or whatever, if you've got that, it goes to the right person. If you haven't, there is the danger that I was going to say got Mr. and Mrs., you've got that right. But if it's Sarah Madam, that's not quite as good, so if you can get it. The other thing to make it easier for them, so let's say, for instance, a big company, it goes into HR, human resources, put the job you're interested in that's either been advertised or you're interested in looking at. So I put here, last year, so a trainee costume design vacancy. So she's telling me that's what I'm interested in. Okay. Next bit's reasonably easy, but standard. So I'm using an example, a student seen not too long ago. I'm a third year photography student at the University of Central Wales, graduate in July 20. I'd like to apply for the position of, I can't remember what the job was, that was advertised on, it was on a particular photography website. They're interested in that. They want to know where students are finding these vacancies. They like that information. Please find my enclosed CV. Or if it's a speculative inquiry, and right to inquire, do offering employment opportunities, work experience, work shadowing, whatever it is, for graduates. Okay, so far so good. Right, now we come to the difficult bits. The difficult bits are these, and these are the important bits. Why are you the right fit for the job, and why do you want to work for this company? So you really do need to know lots and lots of research on this. So a particular company, and using a TV example again, if you wanted to work for the BBC, you really need to have done a lot of research. Okay, so here we go. So why me? Why this company? And the key bit, if you're applying for a job that's advertised, you'll be given a job description. Okay, a personal, you'll be given a job description and have criteria. So you need to go down the criteria and give evidence for all of these, which is for your CV as well. So it might talk about teamwork or etc. It might talk about certain software skills. You need to give evidence of that. Now, with anything, whether you're writing an essay, writing a book or whatever, it's that first sentence. You've got to grab their attention. So what you've got to work out is what are my best skills? What are my best qualifications or accomplishments? That's the sort of thing you've got to grab their attention straight away. And again, if you grab the attention, they're going to read it and they want to read your CV. Okay. Again, your examples come from employment, projects, volunteering, can be your interest as well. You're interested to do, so Guy I saw a few years ago, we're very into sort of Russian films. We tell you all about Russian films, so you're interested in the film industry, that's really good. Again, you need to try and find something that hooks. Again, on your TV, probably another example. If, say, for instance, within TV, there are lots of small companies, and if you were applying to one of these small companies, what you need to do is show them you're very familiar with all the productions they've done. So whatever the company is, it could be a public relations company, whatever, you need to know who are the clients they work with. So it's digging deep. So you've got to obviously read the sort of website and find out, but finding out a bit more. It might be exploring on Google, on newspapers, things like that, finding out what they're up to. Okay? So again, research the organisation, you demonstrate the knowledge. Style of writing. What I mean by this, if you're applying for a social media company or a creative sector, it tends to be more informal. You couldn't do that if you're applying for accountancy or law. They're probably more formal. So again, it's getting the right style as well. Okay, end of the letter. I'm just being polite. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm available for interview. And again, be careful on that, because sometimes I've seen students in the past that said I'm available for interview and they're on holiday, which is not a good thing. And the same things that when you should start, work out your holidays, if you've got any holiday this year, and then put it after that, after your holidays. Okay. And last bit, looking forward to hearing from you. If you had a name at the beginning of the letter, you finish with yours sincerely. If you didn't have a name, it's Sarah Madam, you finish with yours faithfully. Okay. Now, you've probably heard of Career Edge. Career Edge is very good. It's our portal for your careers, and it's got so much useful material, so much it's quite hard to find things. If you entered Career Edge and went into popular tools, we've got a whole package on cover letter builder. So you can create your actual cover letter by going through this. So again, it's worth looking on that. And then you're going to say, well, when I send a letter, how do I send it? So most of it's going to be by email nowadays. So what I've done is come up with a sort of, so I think, and to read this, my eyesight's terrible. So it's to David Bedford. Please, David, dear David, please find attached my CV and cover letter the vacancy of junior digital designer recently advertised in Design Weekly. That's all you need to put, and then they've attached the document for the CV and the document for the cover letter. Okay. Some employers may ask you to actually put the cover letter in the email itself. So under please find my CV and cover letter, you will then put your cover letter underneath there. So there's two ways of doing it basically. The last bit, KISS, keep it short and keep it simple. Thank you. Thanks for your time. I went over 12 minutes, so I do apologise, 2 minutes. Have you any questions? If you have, I'll try and answer them. Well, thanks, Claire. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's good. Can I just say, if you do need any help, and obviously this year is going to be quite challenging, make the most use of it. We are available all summer, and if you go onto sort of Career Edge, you can book an appointment, and it's actually, to be fair, it's quite easy to get appointments at the moment, probably because people have got assignments, but you just book on. And again, because obviously everybody's got different issues and they're coming from different backgrounds, it's important to have that one-to-one, and that's about all summer. The other thing, kind of point out, and you're probably aware of this because you're obviously very keen to listen to this, there is another session at 2:30 on interviews, and again, if you can attend that, that would be very useful. Oh, not getting any questions. That's all right. Right, if that is the case, I'll let you have a 15-minute break before you go to your next session. Thank you very much. Bye. Nice to meet you.